I know CRAs, they typically have a window, or studies typically have a visit window in which you can schedule your visit. And then they always have metrics for like monitoring, like you need to do this many visits a month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how are you able to do personal travel as a monitor? And I know a lot of monitors that don't really take super long personal trips, but knowing you personally, how are you able to take some of these long trips and still manage to get your metrics?
Well, for the months that I do take long trips, I do not get my metrics.
Okay.
But I am one of those CRAs that says, "Oh well,"
Right.
for that month. Like I absolutely aim to get my metrics and get my make all of my metrics for the months that you know, that I have nothing planned. I make my metrics, and that's fine. But I have vacation time for a reason. So I use my vacation time. And if I happen to plan a long trip, then I mean, I let my study team know ahead of time, like, hey, I'm going to be out for this amount of time. Like in October, I'll be gone for 2 weeks on vacation. But like I always do whenever I go on vacation, I took a 2-week vacation last year. I make sure that for all of my visits, I have completed all of my visits within the visit window.
Hmm.
So I either did it early or it's not due until after I return from my vacation. So I make sure to schedule my visits like that. I make sure that whoever's covering me, whatever CRA is covering me, they will only have to respond to emails. They don't have to go out and do a visit. So they're only listed as a reference in my email if somebody has a question about the protocol, if somebody has a question about how to get access to something,
Hmm.
just things that you can handle over email. No one needs to physically be at their site. Um, so that's really how I handle it. And I let my study teams, like I said, I let my study teams know well in advance. Like for that 2-month vacation, I let them know 3 months in advance.
Okay.
Actually, I've let my current study team know 6 months in advance, so they know that I'm gonna be gone. And like I said, I just plan my visits so that I do the visit. I don't have to rely on any other CRA to perform my visit. Um, and
So
that's about it.
do you do it earlier in the month? So you just do it like that then?
Yeah. So like for my vacation last year, I went in the middle of the month, so I compact all of my visits that I need to do into like those first 2 weeks, and then so that I can make sure I get the report in on time, make sure I do all of that. But I don't, if I know that I have something like a 2-week vacation, I'm not concerned with meeting my metrics for that month,
Hmm.
just because I know that that's going to wear me out. Like,
Right.
personally, that's just going to wear me out. I'm concerned with making sure that all of my sites I have done all of their visits within the visit window, and making sure that I just get, as much done as I can on my end, so that, there's little for the study team to do while I'm gone.
Okay. So what happens if you don't meet metrics? I mean, clearly you've been doing this a while, so nothing like terrible happens. But I know a lot of companies will use that for like a bonus, a quarterly bonus or something like that. They'll use those metrics to make sure that you're performing, adequately or above adequately.
Hmm.
So what really happens if you don't meet your metrics?
So it's really dependent on your company, your manager. I've been blessed to have pretty good managers. Now, granted, last year was the first time that I've taken a 2-week vacation. Normally, it's like a week or less. So that was the first time that I've taken that long of a vacation. But my manager was great at that time. She didn't have any problems with me taking the vacation. She wanted to make sure, as long as everything, like I said, my visits were done, my reports were done, pretty much everything that I just went through. But yeah, she didn't really, there wasn't anything, like I didn't get like reprimanded or anything like that. I
Hmm.
mean, I did lose out on the bonus because that 1 month is included in one of the quarterly bonuses. So obviously I wouldn't get the bonus for that month. But I mean, you know that if you plan a 2-week vacation, you know you're gonna miss that bonus unless you make it up in some other way. And I could have done it because I did have extra visits. So sometimes I will put, it just depends on how busy my study is. Like for last year, my study wasn't that busy, so I didn't have to do the extra visits. But like the year previous to that, I put, I think I took a vacation in like June or something. And so I had extra visits in May above my metrics, above the required monthly metrics. And I had extra visits in July. So it kind of evened out what I did in June, or what I
Okay.
did in June.
Got it.
So sometimes your manager will want you to do it like that. Sometimes they won't really say anything to you. More often than not, they're probably going to want you to do more in the months before and after your vacation, so that even though you didn't meet the metrics for that month, you meet it for that quarter.
Okay. All right. And
So it's just dependent on manager, company that you work for, and then your study also. Because if you don't have a study that is keeping you busy like that, then you can't. You can't meet your metrics like
right.
that. But if you're on a study that's not keeping you busy, I would think that your manager is trying to find you something else to do anyway.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
So it's just a combination of both. And even for like my current study that I'm on, I think this year, last year I didn't have to do it, but this year it's probably gonna be me doing more in September and more in November, more visits than the monthly number of visits.